Hi everyone. I think I am live. How are you? Really happy to be with you again today. I hope your weekend was great. I had a very nice weekend. We had a dress-up party on Saturday, that was quite cool. And Sunday was mostly about recuperating. I think the more you move on and take age in life, it's recuperating is much more difficult. So that was about my weekend. I hope yours was nice too. So today we are having our second guest speaker in the group. So for those of you who are new to the group and don't know yet functioning a little bit of how we are doing things, every month I try to bring in a guest speaker who is usually either in the parenting field or in a specialized field related to parenting. And so I try to do this usually towards the end of the month so that you know to expect it. And today we are going to be having Elisabeth Stitt, who is going to be joining us. So without further ado, I will bring you. Hi, Elisabeth.
Hi, Priscille. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. How are you?
Good.
Good. So you are from California, right?
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Excellent. I absolutely love knowing that you are just right opposite of me on the globe and that we can still connect and chat like that. It's just...
I know. It is very cool, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Incredible. So let me just, I have a little intro here that about you, but I will just read out so that people will know who you are and where you came from. So Elisabeth has worked 25 years as a teacher to middle school children. She then moved on and founded Joyful Parenting Coaching. Her mission is to support parents in getting the skills they need to restore their confidence as parents and to enjoy it. She is the author of Parenting as a Second Language, a guidebook for joyfully navigating the trials, triumphs, and tribulations of parenthood. Would you like to add anything to that?
No, except to say that in 25 years of teaching, I actually taught every grade in some capacity or another from kinder through 12. So
okay.
Most of my focus was on the middle school age, but I have
you've
kind of done it all. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Excellent. So while we were speaking the other day, you mentioned a few ways where you think that parenting is harder nowadays than it used to be. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'm sure. So some of it, I kind of boil it down to four things briefly. One is that there's no clear value structure. And by that, I mean that we used to parent in communities where most people were parenting in the same way. So that if we were wondering how to do something or were wondering whether or not we were doing something right, we didn't have to look very far to kind of go like, oh, okay, great. That's the way we'll do it. Now, in the absence of that, and it's not even the absence of that, it's like on steroids, because you can go dumpster diving in the internet for hours and completely undermine your own sense of confidence and your own sense of what's right and what works for my family.
Yeah, it's like there are so many different ways to do things now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And that, and everybody has, and I don't know if Mauritius is as strongly this way, but Americans can get really fanatical. So, let's imagine that you are a young mother trying to find your way. And, on one side of you lives an attachment parent who is like, my baby has to be next to me at all times and the whole family has to sleep together or else they're never going to get the love and the nurturing they need. And on the other side, you know, you have a parent who's all about structure and routine and putting the baby down at a certain time, and you shouldn't just be feeding them at any time. And my God, what are you doing? I mean, imagine being in between those two things. And at least here, it's very realistic to expect that that might happen, and that each of those women are going to be
very strongly
in it and very judgmental.
Okay.
So in the lack of a kind of common community values around something, it requires the individual parent to really check in with themselves, check in with their spouse, check in with the baby that they have or the child that they have, and parent from that point. But that is not easy. That is not easy. Parallel to that, we have a lack of structure. So we used to have a concept of 9 to 5. People went to work 9 to 5. Schools kind of started at a similar time. They got out at a similar time. We didn't expect to run our children from one end of the planet to the other end of the planet, to their soccer games and their ballet lessons and their play performances and everything else. And we certainly didn't have things scheduled, like on the Sabbath, whatever day your community Sabbath was, you wouldn't expect to do it. So I don't know. Did I tell you the baseball story?
No.
No. So
Tell me.
So the example I use for this is the year that my son made the champion baseball team in the town, which is a great honor. But then they scheduled that game on Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I told you, right? And I was furious because that was so disrespectful to parenting, to fatherhood, to plans that we might have made in advance. And I was a very unpopular mother for saying, no, my son will not be playing because we're going to be keeping these plans. And I shouldn't have been put in that position. So we have a lack of structure in society, and so we don't even have that supporting parenting. The third thing is because parenting's been put on a pedestal, and we are now all judged by ourselves as to whether or not, no job is more important, and then we are judged by how we're doing that job based on our children's performance. So we feel this very strong need to push them into being a certain kind of child that we can hold up and say, okay, this is what my child's accomplishing and achieving, therefore I am a good mother.
Right.
Rather than say there are lots of ways to be a good mother, and all I need to do is to be a good enough mother for my kid, and I'm going to work out with my child what that looks like based on my personality and his personality and the needs of our family. And I'm going to figure out who he is, and I'm going to try to honor him as an individual within the context of the needs of the greater family, of his siblings and of us. So not honoring the individual child because we're so busy trying to meet this ideal of parenthood, which is judged by what our child is doing and looks like.
Yeah, it makes me think about the quote where it's something about, when your child is having a tantrum at the shops, it's just sort of being judged. Like a good mother is not sort of looking at the child having the tantrum, but how the mom is just reacting to it. So it's not really the child having the tantrum who should be the issue, and and the sort of the benchmark for good parenting. It's more about the parent's reaction to it.
Yeah. And like lack of empathy for other parents and parent shaming, parent judging.
And
I don't know. Again, on this side of the world, it's rampant, and it's insidious, and it's just horrible for our parents. And if I had a magic wand, the wand that I would wave would be if parents could just be confident in what they're doing and just not worry about
what others
what other parents are doing.
thinking.
Because every parent has his or her own unique gift.
Mm-hmm.
And, they can't be everything for their child, but they will bring that unique gift to their parent, to their parenting.
Yes.
And that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
So then the fourth one is that kids don't have time to be kids. So they're so scheduled, and part of it is parents working, and so even little kids going to childcare in the morning, not getting picked up till 6 p.m, parents trying to put all their parenting in between pickup and bedtime, and getting everything done that is inherent within that time. It just means that there's no part of their day, because even if you're at preschool or childcare center, yes, you might have playtime, but it's still like 40 minutes, and then we have to line up and we have to get our, we've got to get our hands washed because now we have snack, and now we all have to sit at the table and have snack, and we all have to do it. Whereas if you're just at home with your child, you are reading your child. I mean, you might be, of course, there's some moms who are fairly structured and they like to keep things, but they're still going to be reading the child individually, and they're going to stretch a little if they see their child's super absorbed with something. They're going to wait that time, or it's not going to have to be pump, 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 let's go. They can be a little bit more gentle. There can be some negotiating about, well, can we leave this and come back to it? Or can we pick it up in such a way that you can come back to it?
Yeah.
And so there can be that respect for a child being absorbed in his own imagination and his own world and his own rhythm. But we can't do that in institutions. It doesn't work that way, right? There's just not.
Yeah, so it's sort of, so much sort of regulations, and then even us, we are so sort of busy in our life, like do this, and then there's no time anymore to just be with our children.
Yeah, exactly. And as a result, I think we tend to come at our children from an adult point of view all the time, and so we're parenting from an agenda rather than looking at the individual in front of us and sort of tuning in and assessing to what the individual's needs are. And again,
great. Yeah.
it's never one-sided. I mean, I'm never saying that. Even if you had a stay-at-home mom who had no schedule ever, I'm not saying that she shouldn't have some kind of schedule. I'm not saying she shouldn't put her own need to go somewhere or to have a meal or to do something in front of her child. I'm just saying that in that scenario, there's more give and take, and there's more space for the mom to check in and to be sensitive and to compromise and to take in the needs of everybody. Whereas, when we're like this, we're like driven by our to-do list, and I mean, and I know that I've had nights when I've gotten super busy with my kids, and then it's just been like, okay, come on, we got to get, it's like, hurry up, eat dinner, hurry up, clean up, hurry up, brush your teeth, hurry up, get the bathtub, and because really all I can think is I need you in bed because I still have 1 more. 2 more, 3 more, 10 more things I need to do before I can go to bed.
But it's still things that makes things more difficult.
Yes, because that it just locks up.
Yes, and we get stuck into like these modes of functioning. Yeah, and so I loved one of the strategies that you shared with me to be able to kind of reconnect with our children, that you call the Match the Mojo strategy.
Yes.
So, would you like to share that with our audience?
Let me tell you about it, because it's one of my favorites. Because it really, all it says at the basic line, it says, meet your child's emotional energy where they are. And, whatever that energy is, then you can bring it down. But if you meet it first, then at least they have that moment of, Mom is fully in my world right now, and she's fully really seeing me. and she's really hearing me, and she really gets it. Okay, so you want to try what that might sound like?
Yes.
Okay, you want to be a kid?
Okay, I'll be a kid.
Okay, you be a kid, and it's before dinner, and you come and you're wanting a cookie.
Okay.
Okay, so
So, Mom, I want a cookie.
You want a cookie? Keep going.
I want a cookie. I want a cookie now.
Oh, yes, a cookie would be so good right now. Keep going.
Give me the cookie.
A big cookie.
A big cookie, yes, a big cookie.
As big as a plate?
As big as a plate.
Oh, as big as the table?
As big as the table.
Yes, we could invite the whole neighborhood, and we could eat it with our forks and our knives.
Yes.
And it should have frosting on it.
Oh, yes, lots of frosting.
And sprinkles all over the place.
Oh, yes, lots of sprinkles.
Oh, wow, that would be so good. I would love that. And how would we bake such a cookie?
Oh, in a big oven.
In a big oven. We might have to buy our new house.
We'll live in a new house.
And at the same time, I really like our house.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I know. That'd be good. And right now, it's time to peel the carrots for dinner. Would you like to help with that?
Okay.
Okay. Great. So that's the Matching the Mojo.
Okay.
Because rather than saying, and you can imagine, you've got your agenda in place. How dare this child come and ask for a cookie 5 minutes before dinner? He knows it's about to be dinner time, and he knows he's not allowed a cookie. And so, your reaction's going to be like, no, I told you no. Get out of here. No, don't you dare ask me for that. Right?
Okay. Yeah, usually we would go into that mode where, okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just shut them down right in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I love about this technique is that it's expandable. It's not just for little kids. It works for older kids too. That if it's the 4-year-old who wants the cookie, but it's the 8-year-old who's coming in and saying, Mom, Joey invited me to dinner at his house. And again, you come back with, Joey invited you to dinner at his house. Mm-hmm. Yes, Mom, I get to play with his snap circuit set. Oh, you've been wanting a snap circuit set. You're going to love being able to be at Joey's and play his snap circuit set. And then eventually you get to it. And at the same time, we promised Grandma we'd go to her house for dinner tonight. But Mom, I want to go to Joey's house. I know, because Joey's house is going to be so much fun. And tonight we're going to Grandma's. Would you like me to talk to Joey's mom about a play date or dinner for another night? Yes, Mom, yes. Right?
So it's matching them first before, bringing it back to the reason where they can't have the thing they want. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's really acknowledging what it is, what's fun and exciting. And you think about this, Priscille. Think if you ran into a girlfriend in the grocery store and she said, hey, we're having a girls' night out on Friday. You should come. It's going to be great. We're going to, we're going to hang out. We're going to make margaritas, whatever it is. And you're thinking oh my God, do I need a girls' night out? And, you go home to your husband and you say, oh, I'm so excited. We're going to go over to Lucy's for girls' night out on Friday. If he comes back with, oh, I know you need that. You haven't had a girls' night out and you've been working so hard and you need a break from the kids. That's awesome. And then he reminds you that it's Sarah's recital. That's going to feel so much better than I can't believe you forgot it's Sarah's recital.
Yeah.
That just feels like, boom.
So it's the same, because it works for us too, adults.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Yes,
right?
sort of connecting with the person rather than just boom, like, it's like, you've forgotten we have this, like you can't go about and do your stuff type thing.
Right. And the trick is to agree with whichever portion of it you can agree. Like, I mean, if your kid comes and says, oh, I want to, let's say your 7-year-old comes and says, I want to go dirt biking with the other kids. And you're thinking like, no way am I putting my 7-year-old on a dirt bike.
Right.
But you can still imagine the excitement of that, right? Like, wow, it is fun to go fast. And wow, it is fun to do things with the big kids. When I was little, I loved doing things with the big kids too. So there's lots of places where we can find common ground and we can match their energy and see them and hear them.
And it's like, it's not because we go with them into that emotion and in that imagination that we are going to give in at the end.
Right.
That's what you're saying too. Because we can sort of ride with a wave and then bring it back to reality and to limits and constraints and things that sort of would prevent us to do things like that.
Exactly. And in the process, hopefully then we have avoided the tantrum or the slammed door or the you hate me.
Right. Yes, all the kind of reactions that we would have from not going through that process.
Our own reactions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the resentment and the I don't want to be dealing with this right now, and yeah, exactly. So it's really a brilliant technique because it gives us so much space to see and acknowledge and hear our child, to give us processing time too, right? I mean, if you're like maybe you're trying to find some kind of way to make it work in your mind, but you haven't had the time yet. Like maybe there's some wiggle room on Joey's dinner and grandma, and they can do Joey for an hour and then pick up at grandma. But you need that space. Is that the wind I'm hearing? Because you're outside.
Yes, probably.
No, I just love it though. I love that you can be outside. It's definitely we're getting warmer, but it's still springtime, even in California. Northern California. So yeah, it's a very effective technique, and if you the other way that I call it, one is Match the Mojo, but the other thing that I say is yes, 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 and at the same time. So I'm going to find 3 things to say yes to, and 3 things that I can connect with and agree with, and be on the same page with you before I bring up my objection or my steering. And, especially as your kids get older and you're giving them some space to maybe argue with you and to reason with you, and it's not just my way or the highway.
Yes.
Again, it puts you, it says you and I are here on the same team and the problem is over here. And so it's not that you and I are going to go head to head about this. It's that I want you to be able to go to your party. I want you to be able to spend time with your friends. And at the same time, I'm your mom. I have to be concerned about your safety. I have to, to keep the logistics in mind of who's driving whom, where, when. And so, yes, a party, that sounds great. And being with your friends. Yes, all that's good. And at the same time, I want to talk to Joey's mom. I want to...
Yes, and then sort of bring it back. That's an awesome strategy. I absolutely love it. So let me just check quickly if we have any comments or questions. Usually they come in through the platform that we are using, but sometimes you might not have. Because I didn't receive the comments here, and we do have a question. So let me just read. So there's someone saying, does it not set up for a chance of false promises developing if not done mindfully?
Let's see. I mean, I think that like the cookie example is probably the most big example. And yes, I like the mindful part. And for me, the mindful part would be that when you make the switch, again, it's not a door slamming in the face. It's this gradual shift. I'm still going to say yes. And even if like, let's say you're arguing with somebody, and they're still coming down the road. The actual technique is to continue to find agreement wherever you can find agreement, and then be persistent about your end at the same time. So in this way, the turnaround can be very kind of soft and gentle. And again, I use this technique with my husband. If he's saying, let's go here for vacation. And my first internal reaction is like, no, I do not want to go there for vacation. It's X, Y, and Z. I'm still going to start by finding what do I like about that place? Like, oh, it's by the ocean. Yes, I love being near the ocean. And, and he's going to go along here and here. And I'm going to keep finding something that I like. At the same time, I'm going to keep introducing what's hard about it for me. And eventually, especially when somebody else gets used to the pattern in the family, they kind of know, okay, again, you and I, we're on the same team, and we're looking at this thing over here, and we're going to keep things light while we're getting as much information out as possible. In order to find as much common ground.
Okay. And you still, I mean, even though, like if we go back to your cookie example, like even though you say like, oh, wouldn't it be great to have a giant cookie? You're not saying at any point, you are going to have.
Right.
I think parents should be careful about sort of being congruent also when they find things that are great, at no time to actually promise what they are going to, So
You're not making a declarative sentence. You're not saying, I will make a cookie. Yeah. Let's make that cookie right now. You're saying, I would love to eat that cookie. Which is an easy one for me because I would love to eat a cookie that big. I love cookies.
Basically. And children get it. I mean, usually by a certain age, I would love to do that. They get it, but it's not actually real in the moment.
Right. And if they're young enough that they don't get it, the funny thing is that then they're really young, then they're much more open to actually accepting the imaginary cookie.
Yes.
So, when you then say, here's the cookie, here it is, as big as the table. Here's your fork and knife. Let's eat it. Is that yummy? Then they're usually the first one to go, that's so yummy. I love this cookie.
Young children, they will get into that imaginary world very easily. Yes. Brilliant. So let me just check. I'll just refresh quickly just to see if there is any more questions. I hope that answered your question, Beryl. It was nice having you on the call. And she says, imagine walking in at this moment with a monster cookie. Laughing out loud. So. That would be cool. So thank you so much for this strategy. I absolutely love it. And I hope parents will be able to play around a little bit with it and try it out. I will put, Elisabeth, all your details under the call so that they can, is there a favorite way that you would like people to connect with you?
Put whatever, and I'll jump in and add whatever you don't want.
Because I will put your website and your Facebook page and stuff, and then if you want to add anything to that, like where parents can come and connect with you, you're welcome to.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, it was really nice having you, and have a great week.
Yeah, have a great week, Priscille. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.